Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and in this video I'm going to be going over all the Overwatch related LEGO news that's come out over the past couple of days. And there's been quite a lot of information that's either come out or leaked not through miscellaneous things or leaks from like a factory or figures or that sort of stuff, but this is a combination of content from this video that's been released, stuff from BrickSeek as well. BrickSeek's been quite a good source of information, and there's been a few other bits as well. So the first thing is the video teaser. The video teaser was released by LEGO originally on Twitter, I believe it was, and showed Genji and McCree. Sort of like there was a set of six holograms of characters appearing overlaid over a map. So the first two were Genji and McCree on Watchpoint Gibraltar, Reinhardt and Mercy on Hanamura, and then Widowmaker and Soldier 76 on Dorado. So and obviously that could just be 6 random characters along with 3 random maps that we're probably going to get sets based on. Not guaranteed, but possible. BrickSeek has a lot of interesting information. We already know the pricing and the set numbers. These are 75970 at $14.99. These are all US prices, I should add. 75971 at $19.99. 75972 at $29.99. 75973 at $39.99. 75974 at $14.99, and then the big one, 75975 at $89.99, which is the big one. Now obviously there are a few other things as well. Diva's voice actor has actually said how cute she looks in Lego form, so we are definitely getting Diva, so that question has been resolved. Now don't ask me for the source, but I have heard it on reputable grounds that she has actually said that, so, or at least one of her voice actors has said that. So I'm now going to go over to an Excel spreadsheet where I've been jotting some of this down and going into other stuff. So I'll change this to scene, and you can't see me at the moment, but I'll just change it in a second. There we go. So now you can see me again. Hello. And so the minimum characters I'd expect that aren't on the video are Tracer, Diva, Winston, Reaper, Lucio, May, and Bastion. Bastion will probably be a brick build, so probably won't be able to transform between these two different modes, and you probably won't see his ultimate mode either. That'll be really hard to do in Lego scale. So you can probably there'll probably either be him standing up or probably be him in turret mode, but probably not both. Without a little bit of jiggery anyway. So this is what I have formulated. So the white is information we know, not necessarily tied. So these maps and characters might not necessarily be tied. These characters might not be tied to these maps, and they might not even be tied to these these set numbers and prospects. These prices and the set numbers are definite from BrickSeek, so we know that. We know that 72595 is the most expensive one. These others go at roughly in $10 increments, except for the first one. So I'd reckon 970, because of its low price, it'd either be a alternate skins pack or a character pack on its own, similar to how we've had for Minecraft. Those have been reasonably good sellers as far as I'm aware. For people who like Minecraft, but obviously there's not a great deal of stuff in them, except for a few characters, maybe a few side builds, and maybe we'll get something like that. The $20 set, I imagine it'd be quite a small set with maybe 2 or 3 characters, and I reckon if it is going to be a set with an actual brick construction, I'd imagine it's probably likely to be the Spawn aircraft. The Spawn aircraft appears on quite a few maps. It's quite a universal thing. It's something that can be fairly easily representable with, say, a 6x16 plate and some wall panels and maybe a door. There's not a great deal to it per se, so that would be something I'd expect as well for that sort of price point. And I suspect if you're referring to that other list of characters we'd expect, I've got May, Lucio, Bridget and Farah. Now those might also be in the character pack if it is a character pack, but seem to me that the Spawn aircraft is fairly a blank canvas, so they could probably stick anyone they wanted in there, within reason of, you know, whether they could build them or not and that sort of stuff. The $29.99 set, I reckon, is going to be King's Row, and that would feature Tracer, because obviously King's Row is London, so it makes sense to have Tracer in that. And then I also think it's probably a good point to put in Torbjorn and his turret. And the reason for that is that obviously we have the Overwatch Archives mission for King's Row and the Omnics, so that might be a good set to have Torbjorn in. Not necessarily in original colours, sort of like the Overwatch colours, but it might be a good set to have as a nod to that. And if it was to be in King's Row, I'd probably say it's the entrance to the power station. Not only because A, it's in the regular map, but also B, because it's quite a good focal point later on in the game for that map play. And it's also in the free-for-all deathmatch, so it's a nice, solid point. And the other thing as well is that it's right next to the tube station where you get off for that London, that King's Row based mission, because you're coming in off the tube train. So it does make a lot of sense for it to be based roughly in that area. It's also where the payload moves through and that sort of stuff. The $39.99 set, I reckon, is going to be Dorado. And for Dorado, the video had Widowmaker and Soldier 76. For the other characters, I reckon we probably might get Sombra and Reaper in this set, possibly because it sort of fits in. Sombra and Reaper, especially because Sombra is actually Mexican, and then Reaper actually comes from New Mexico, I think it is. I'm not entirely too sure on all these characters' backstories, but it sort of makes sense for him to be there along with Widowmaker. Maybe he's a mission and soldiers fighting it or something. And if it is going to be Dorado, it's either going to be the entrance to the power station or the central fountain / market area where they're having the celebration. Those are very good locations to have a bit of map and that sort of thing, especially the fountain area, because it's a nice bit of, especially if it's just the fountain and maybe a market stall, because it creates a nice bit of cover and, you know, play options and that sort of thing. For the $49.99 set, I reckon this is going to be Hanamura, and obviously the video had Reinhardt and Mercy in this. I reckon if we are going to get other characters in this, we're probably going to see Hanzo and Zenyatta. It sort of makes sense that they're going to be in there as a spiritual sense, and the fact it's Hanzo's home, or was his original home. And then also we got Bastion as well. I think Bastion, this is probably the best point for Bastion, with the exception of Watchpoint Gibraltar. His Bastion, again, unlike most characters, is a fairly neutral character. The only real map Bastion is linked to in any real form is Eichenwald, and we've had no confirmations that Eichenwald is actually going to be on the map. It might be, there's no guarantees, but this is what I reckon is going to be in. And for building locations, we're probably going to have the Bell Pagoda and the main doors into that sort of area as well. It's a very it's the first choke point on the map, so you've got to get through it. And if they do the main doors, I could do some very nice big doors like they have on the Temple of the Ultimate Weapon. How to remember that. But they could also have those two sets of doors, and then also a little stand, sort of like the wall bit for Hanzo to be on and be shooting his arrows out. Because it's a very, it's a very sort of reference to that. And then lastly, we've got Watchpoint Gibraltar, and in the video that had Genji and McCree on it. And then I reckon because of the cost of the set, it's probably going to have Diva and her mech in it as well, because the mech's going to be probably quite a complex build. And then possibly Lucio as well, because obviously Lucio is a healer, so it sort of makes sense to have Lucio to like fill it out from that sort of perspective. And then I'd also suggest that if we're going to get a payload set, it'd have to be the big one. And obviously it points to and obviously Lego being more of a sort of responsible company for payload maps. King's Row is a bomb, so not very good because it's special bomb at Omnics. Route 66 is a bomb, just a regular bomb, as far as I'm aware. You have the component for the power station on Dorado, which might be a bomb. It hasn't, there is a little bit of a disconcertation with that. And then the only other two you've got are Watchpoint Gibraltar, which you're sending up the sort of ship ready for the satellite, and then you've also got Icon Vault, where it's the door knuckle wagon trying to go off and then knock down the castle doors, which again might be a good set because they could include a nice little mechanism for the thing, and it could knock the doors out if they're specially done, and it also might be a way to put Reinhardt in properly. And put in your suit as well, so obviously it's a very good point to that, and they could have a really good castle entrance and that sort of thing. So this list might be completely inaccurate, but from what I'd expect, we're definitely getting Diva. So Diva and her is probably going to come with her mech, and it makes sense to put the big set, that sort of big thing, in a big set because obviously it's a lot of pieces. Now it depends what they do. They might not model her mech at all. And there is some very good instruction for building a mech, which I'll link in the video description, and that's the ones I've been using to build my own copy. It's in those exact colours, so it is available. And from my perspective, this is roughly be right. If we're looking for other maps outside of the ones that are listed in the video, I'd probably say Eichenwald is a possibility for the payload and the play features for the guard in that sense. And the only other one we're missing from is Nimbani, which also might be a good one for a payload map because it's got Doomfist Gauntlet. And then obviously when they retcon that to just be a payload, that's just the plain load. It could be anything, and that's probably a good one to have as well. So obviously, these sets aren't due until 2019, and the reason I say 2019 is for a very good point, and I'll go back to Cam here. The reason why we don't expect sets to come until 2019 is for the very simple fact, I'll just change that, that the teaser on the LEGO website, so it's lego.com/theme/Overwatch, I think, actually has the little sort of legalese at the bottom, the copyright notice, copyright 2019, Blizzard Entertainment /Activision, I think it is, something like that. But that says 2019, and normally if we're getting sets, they're copyrighted for the same year as the set's releasing, so we'd probably not see these until 2019. I'd probably say they're going to be a January release, on the pure basis that it's a nice big start to the year, nice good press as well. You've got everybody's been given money at Christmas, and January's the month to spend it in. Oh, Overwatch that's just released, it's a very good marketing opportunity to sort of go, yes, we've got all these Overwatch sets out now, you can go down to your local toy store and get them, or buy them online, or something like that. They might even have them out before then. There's no guarantees. We might see them this side of Christmas, so there might be a November sort of release just before Christmas. It's possible, but unlikely. So that's it for me.